I'm gonna try to make this video a little bit shorter. I could probably go on for like a 30-40 minutes. I will try to make this shorter. Not too short though, for this is extremely important. And by the end of the video, I will kind of like, you could say I will summarize it, and so I will go step by step, and then at the end I will do a quick summary so you know exactly what you need to do. So if you can watch this video with full focus, you don't need to, oh yeah, do this, do this, do this. I will tell you exactly how I do it in the end and how you should do it in the end, right? So everything together. But I have a couple steps here. You could say step one is wake up early. And I actually think this is a very important part. You're like, oh, wake up early. What does that have to do with my addictions? In this formula, it will be important. I will explain shortly now why. Because you wake up early, you have less hours at the end of the day. And I know that after gym at like 4, 5 p.m., that's when you watch 3, 4 hours of content. That's when you do 1 hour of movie or video game. That's when you unwind with whatever vice you use. That's when you allow yourself relaxing, for the next day, cheat meal, I've already done everything today. I need to calm down and unwind, bro. Like, such a weak term. And I know unwinding is important, but not you use that term wrong. You're like, oh, I'm a monk mode, but we need unwinding. Like, what the fuck, bro? That's unwinding. When someone says unwinding, they're coping. Like, 99% of the time you're coping when you say you need to unwind. When you need to unwind, that is literally take your head at your pillow, maybe have some chill music, do some journaling, and having dark room and just be at, maybe read with the lowest brightness on a Kindle. That could be relaxing. Not your 1 hour of video game, not a 1 hour of movie. Ooh, that's cute stuff. Because you want to quit. It's an addiction. You know why? Because you do it every single day. You're like, 1 hour video game is fine. You see, you're defending 1 hour drug is fine. 1 hour vape is fine. It's a drug, bro. It's an addiction. And so you need to follow this formula if you're that person. Oh, but I can still. Why would it's like, yeah, I can still get a millionaire with cocaine 1 hour a day or whatever. Like, you sound stupid when you say that. You really do. I know it's an addiction that's like rooted in your personality, like for years since you have done it since you were a child. But give up your child vices and get to work. You're a man now. So I wake up early, wake up 4:30 or 4 a.m. So I have a great few hours before school, like 2 to 3 hours, maybe more, so I can get everything important done. And what's important for me as a, you could say, influencer YouTuber is getting these videos out there. That's the number one most important task. And so I get it done. A second video today, it's 5 a.m. now. I'm gonna get it done, bro. Get it done. I'm gonna keep recording another video after this, or maybe more. I have time. And then I'm going to school, and then I keep going with my day. So wake up early to get things done. Then school ends. Let's say school ends 12. Oh, but your bedtime is 7. Yeah, you have a great 7 hours then. What do you do? Well, you should not have free time. You need to schedule that time. And but I schedule reading to 1 a.m. to 5. So I read for 4 hours at home, or I read, I take lunch at home, then I read for 4 hours. Hell, I know you're coping when you say that. You should not go home. You should not be at home at all. The only time you should be at home is when you do like me. You record a video in the morning, or you have your fucking solo date night where you have your music on, you have your head on your pillow, you really unwind for real. Maybe read with the lowest brightness, pitch dark room, do some journaling maybe. That is solo date night. That is real unwinding. But if you do have free time for some reason, because I usually go home at 4, so I'm home at 5, and then I tend to need 2 hours of unwinding. That's like, oh, 2 hours, bro. Yeah, but at that time I journal and I unwind. I try to get to bed early and try to sleep well, and it has helped me to wake up around 4 a.m. Not really tired and groggy, even though I haven't really adapted yet, so it's a good sign. But yeah, you're like 2 hours, wasting 2 hours just like that. Well, you can take a Kindle with lowest brightness. Unfortunately, my Kindle broke, or my Storytel reader, which is kind of the same thing, broke. But I will be using that at that evening time, those 2 hours, when it's back, because I don't want to use my technology, my computer, even though it's lowest brightness, because I tend to fuck up my sleep pretty much if I have any screens, any overhead light, any lights at all, besides, my Kindle, then I get problems. So when you have free time at like Fridays, I end school like 12. Then I go to the library. If I don't eat lunch, I don't even eat every day. I find myself sleeping better actually when I don't eat. It's weird, right? I sleep better when I don't eat at all in the day. That's really weird. And I tend to, be 100% focused every single second of the day, besides, when I'm tired in bed, which is on the floor, by the way. You can see a previous video. I don't know, like 2 weeks back, I have made a video about sleeping on the damn floor, and I actually do that now, and it's good. But anyways, when I have free time, I spend a couple of few hours at the library, and then I take, the bus or ideally the bike home at like 16, 17, and then I should be home at 17 to 18. Actually, 18 is a little bit late because I tend to need more than 1 hour, because then I get stressed. Oh, sleep time in 1 hour, and then I can't really calm down. So I like to have 1.5 hour, maybe even 2 hours. I think I deserve that time. And also, it is important to have lonely time with nothing. And that time might also be, times like video ideas for next videos, which I'm recording like 4 a.m. So it could be very productive. And then it's just, I need relaxing. I feel like it's kind of countering the effects of all that school, which like brain rotting. It feels like I'm drained for weeks when I'm in school. Maybe it's just because I'm an artist, but I don't know. It really takes a lot out of me. For real. School takes more out of me than everything else I do in the day together. And I'm not a lazy ass. Like, I go to the gym. I record 8 videos yesterday. And what more? Yeah. Bike 2 miles. Bike 2 miles, gym, reading at the local library. I like all that. And school took more out of me than all of that. It's a bit odd, in my opinion. So if I do have free time, I spend it at the library or outside of my house somewhere. And when it's about time for me to do my midnight routine, my solo dating night, my real unwinding, or my real unwinding, not real unwinding, my real unwinding, then I, you know, get home. Put on like Skyrim tavern music, which gets me into a relaxing mood. Maybe I use my speaker, but I actually prefer not to use my speaker. It is easier, and I have zero lights because the speaker is big and it gives some lights, and the volume is perfect on my phone for some reason. I don't know. I've tested that. So I use my phone better. Lowest brightness, of course. Night mode always on. But why is all this so powerful? Waking up early gives you time to work on what's important. Because in the morning, if you're not fucking sleep deprived, and I am usually pretty refreshed as I give myself time 2 hours before bed. Like, imagine being in bed for 11 hours and then 9 hours of me sleeping. I'm in bed for 11 hours and I'm relaxing. I'm like journaling, and I'm like, when I came home like minutes ago, I was just on 1 mile bike ride. So I feel it's like you have, let's say you have walked for like an hour outside. You feel kind of, yeah, I'm ready for sleep. I feel like some of the brain rot has disappeared. It's like it's freshening up your brain. And so I have like fresh brain, and then I have relaxing at home, head on the pillow, feels kind of cozy, a little bit cold, and as it should be. And then it's like you sleep well as fuck, and then you wake up, and then 4:30 you're like, next day, bro. that I'm gonna conquer. And then you have the video ideas written down. I only had 3, I think, today. I didn't go that well with video ideas, but I still had 3, so I'm gonna record at least 3 videos today. I recorded 8 yesterday. I'm still very much in front of my schedule. I still did more than a week's worth of content yesterday. So that's powerful because then you get your important work done. Because if you're in school, you're like, oh, I need to record, I need to read, I need to. You get the most important thing down, then it's less anxiety. It's less like, oh yeah, I have to record when I get home from school. I have to. What I do instead is I'm like, school ends. I'm like, if I have time, I go to the library. If I don't have time, I go home and relax. And my relaxing is not 1 hour video game, not 1 hour movie. No, my relaxing is some chill piano or very chill, very very chill. For me, it gets me in the Skyrim tavern music. So I'm like, oh yeah, I don't have to do anything when I go home from school. The only thing I do is I'm gonna relax. And so I put on the music and then I do a little bit of journaling. And while I'm journaling, I journal like, oh, how did my day go? What did I do today? And then I say, oh, I'm grateful. So I do gratitude and what did I do today? And if something came up like, oh yeah, something you shouldn't have done or whatever, then I, underline it or circle it and then I start journaling about it. But there are actually not many things that I need to fix now. I think my life is almost perfect. Besides the one thing I can't really do anything about outside of my skin, which is school. And that's probably my bottleneck now. It is probably, but I think I've eliminated almost every other bottleneck than school. Maybe I still have, my midnight routine. I don't think it's cope because it does help me get up 4 a.m. and record another video. But maybe I can combine that with a little bit of reading, which will then, when I get my Kindle or my Storytel reader back because it broke, if I get that back in shape, then I can keep reading more. I get even more reading done, but I try to read at the library and it works pretty well. And I do my bike now, which takes the same time as the bus, and I feel less brain rot, less drained. I probably optimize nearly all parts of life, and then I get, warm up because I take the bike for the gym, so I get my warm up, and then I also get sunlight a little bit, at least more than 1 minute, because we don't have the sun is like up 8 to 3. It's not up at a lot of hours. 8 to 3 p.m. 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. It's not up at all. It's not going up at 6 a.m. and it's not going down by like 6. It's going down before I end school and when I start school. So I'm like, the whole school time is the sunlight and we only have like 10-minute breaks. Oh, lunch breaks, yeah. Spend my whole lunch break outside as I got no sunlight, literally, right? So, getting back on track, right? Step on step. Waking up early so you don't have much free time, which free time is like cancer for us. And free time at home is the worst cancer. It's Nurgle. It is shit. Worst thing. And then if I actually do have free time, that's like bad. But actually, like if you like it's good in a way because I don't have school. I would rather have free time than school. But it is very important that free time is you eliminate it quickly by something else. So you have free time 12 to 4. What am I gonna do 12 to 4? Yeah, then you should go like to the library, a cafe, and then you read there. Read for a couple hours. I did that once. I think it was 2 days ago. I read for almost 2 hours, but man, that time just 2 hours already, bro. I wanted a couple more hours, but unfortunately, I had school that day. I think it was yesterday. Yeah, I woke up like 4. I recorded videos to 9. At 9, I got to the gym, and I'm at the gym at like 10. Worked out for an hour, 11, and then 11 to 12:30. I read, and then I'm like, oh man, 12:30, school already. 12:30 though, that's pretty late. And then I had school to 3. And those 2-3 hours of school, those took more energy out of me than the rest of the day. That's insane, bro. God, it's like I have brain fog, brain rot when I'm there. Great, and then you get home, right? A couple of hours before bed, not too many hours, for then you have that free time and you will just watch content, which we don't want. We want you to get to bed and feel extremely refreshed without having to relapse. Because I know this. When you get home from the gym, I had done this a million times. You're there, like, kind of relapsing. You're like sitting there. Oh, should I? It's only 16. I have like 3-4 hours before bedtime. Should I go on 9? And you're like, and then you go on like 9 anime, whatever, some damn pirates at, and then you're like, oh, this season is really fun. I'm gonna watch the whole season. And then it's your bedtime, and you're on episode 7. You're like, oh yeah, we'll continue. And then you continue, and then you get proper bored, and then you go on YouTube, then you go on opening, and then you have really high dopamine listening to the highest volume of some opening, and then you're like, oh yeah, I'll go back to the episode, and then you go back to the opening episode, and then it takes you like an hour to watch 2 episodes, which is supposed to take like half an hour or so, if you don't go skip openings or listening to openings, re-watching, and what are you doing, bro? You're spending like 2 days just watching one series, which was only supposed to be an hour. It doesn't. It's an addiction, right? 1 hour becomes a whole series, and that series might become a second one. Or if you're so bored, then you might get back on track. But still, that's just unnecessary. Because did you have fun watching the series? You're like, oh yeah, proper fun watching this. But for real, you didn't, because you weren't even doing it full screen. You weren't really consuming it like an insane guy. You were only consuming one episode, and then, oh yeah, this episode is done. Let's go to YouTube and go to opening. Look, you couldn't even watch the season in one go. You needed to watch an opening between. You needed to see if there were other shows, and you're like, you didn't have fun at that time. And when you tell me, you're like, I'm in a rut, guys. I'm addicted to this. I can't get any work done. And I actually felt better when I was in full going all in work mode. You're like, you see, you're regretting it always. It's instant gratification, bro. It's like boringness in disguise. Discipline is the fun. And when you're not disciplined, you think discipline is the worst thing. You're like, no, I can't. It's impossible for me to be disciplined. And then when you actually are disciplined, that's the funnest there is. So when you're in these negative loops, when you're in this rut, when you're in a rut, the thing that you want to do the least is the thing that you want to do the most in reality. Right? It's hiding. No, monkey mind is trying to hide it. You know, the Jeffrey brain that tells you the fact when you shouldn't really. You don't know FAP, and someone tells you, oh, FAP, good. Oh, you know, it's actually helping prostate cancer, bro. Like, what the fuck, bro? That's the formula, so I will go through it. So you wake up early, so you don't have much time, and also because you want to do the most important thing before something else, because you come with so much more better energy. You're there like, oh, hate school. You will be in a happy mood, and maybe you will start thinking, oh, hate school. Try to get yourself out of those negative loops by breathing deeply, thinking more positive thoughts, because negativity has never got us anywhere. In fact, negativity is feeding our monkey mind. So every time you have this judgment, oh, I shouldn't have done this, I need to do this, I hate this. Every time you have that mindset, you know what? You're feeding the monkey mind. And monkey mind is that mind that's telling you fapping is fine. Fapping is actually prostate cancer, good for, you know? The coping part of your brain gets reinforced and strengthened every time you think negative thoughts. So I'm like, do I want to give power to this motherfucker? Fuck him. He can die. I hate him. I want to kill him. And so fuck him. Oh, now you're negative, right? He wants you to hate him because then you fuel him by you hating him. So you're like, so when you listen to him, you hate yourself and him. And when you know it's him, you hate on him, he gets energy. He gets fueled by negative. He's the devil. He gets fueled by negative energy. So you hating him, oh, I'm gonna kill him, and you're like, oh, it's his fault. You're giving him energy, and you're like, I hate this in school. All negativity, any negativity, fuels him, and it is not cool. the devil. You're like, oh, I don't want to be a hero or a savior. I want to be the powerful demon. That doesn't work. Sorry, it's like some stories are demon kings are so cool. They're actually friendly. Whatever. Like, I'm just telling you that the worst version of you that is telling you to waste your whole life having 15 times a day until it doesn't even get hard. Your PP, that part gets fueled by negativity. The one that got you where you are now, the weak part, or I guess the one that's making you weak, but it's strong. You can't resist it. You fuel that shit by being negative. So don't be negative, right? Try to be as little negative as possible. It is difficult, right? But just try to think of gratitude instead. Because you know why you want to think of gratitude? You're like, that's kind of cringe, but when you think of negative, you reinforce the bad part of your brain. When you think of positives, you reinforce the good part of your brain that has gotten you where you are now. The one that have the curiosity. Oh, I'm curious. This addiction, I'm honest, addiction is actually a problem. I'm in a rut right now. I'm watching a bunch of animes, I'm watching, some movie on Netflix, but I do think that this addiction is a problem I'm having. This curious brain, it's called the observing mind. It's like the camera, it's like, interesting. Why could that be? Instead of, oh fuck, I hate this, I know you're this, your fault is, you're like, yeah. Yeah. He's telling me that I shouldn't have free time. And that makes sense because I tend to do degenerate habits when I'm home alone. He might be right about this. Right? So you wake up early once again so you can get the most important work done. For me it's these videos. For you, the business work that is maybe your marketing or maybe recording your courses or maybe your product, improving your product. What's really important for you right now? What's number one priority? Get that done when you wake up. Good. And then when you have free time, you end school early, you end work early, spend that time outside of your home. And even if you spend outside of your home. So for me it's gym because I want to do daily gym. I don't like, honestly, my biggest priority is not getting gains and stuff, but I go to the gym every day because I tend to only been able to work out for an hour, half an hour until I get diminishing returns. So 80-20. I get the most results the first half an hour is going to the gym. So I want to do 1 hour or half an hour every day. I make like more progress by going every day, new muscle group, one muscle group every day, simple as hell. So I actually kind of save time in a way, I would say, because I am outside of my house every day anyways. Because you're like, oh, but if you go outside of your house, isn't that like a waste of time? You need to go, you need to prepare yourself, you need to go to the gym, and then you can start doing your work. But I've already made a, declaration. I've already told you that you should be outside of your home. Besides when you wake up and do your work, or when you do your evening routine. And so 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. is not evening routine or in the morning. It is me outside, in the gym, the library, whatever. Maybe in a cafe, but I tend to be at the library. That's like the place I like most. And then, you're going about your day, try to do gratitude thoughts and try to be conscious, breathe fully. So you get out of the negative loop and then think gratitude thoughts. Because any negativity does not help you. You think that shame motivates you. You're like, oh, I gotta drink so many times. You're like, it sounds ridiculous, but you actually think this. You're like, you're at another video. You're like, oh, tomorrow it's gonna change. It's like procrastination. You do the bad thing and then you think tomorrow I'm gonna do it. But has that ever happened? Maybe it has worked, but then you get back to the shit days later. So it has not really worked the long term. But what does work the long term is gratitude. Because I tell you right now, when I'm doing gratitude journaling every day, that's like the times I've like 2 weeks in a row been consistent, right? Gratitude journal. And now with all these step by step, I can be consistent like many weeks. So great, like you don't have to do gratitude journaling, but I do it in my evening routine because I'm spending 2 hours evening routine anyway, so I might as well stack meditation, journaling, all those self-improvement habits in my evening routine. Might as well, right? Because I have made time for them. Because I can't do, I'm gonna run, I'm gonna barefoot running, I'm gonna do meditation, I'm gonna do journaling, I'm gonna do grounding, I'm gonna do cold shower, no, I just do everything that is important. When I wake up, work is number one priority. Like, if I can make enough money to not go to some shit job, then that's like my purpose layer. If I can get that done, then I can focus on other things. That's like, if I can't get that done, I will feel sad and depressed. Because I know this. My future self would love me, would fucking go out with me if I he would literally go gay if I got this done. That this is stupid. What the fuck am I doing here? And then yeah, the last part, going to bed early. So you can wake up 4 a.m. naturally. And then when I do this, I put on some beautiful, relaxing music, because when I come home from gym or when I come home from library, whatever, when I'm home, I'm a degenerate, right? So I have this cravings. Oh, I can't. The craving is too hard. I need to do it. I actually found out, no, you don't actually need to do it. And it's easier for me to say, oh yeah, don't do the craving, because it is impossible, because I do it anyways at that times. But what helped me was put music on, because I'm like, yeah, I have music there. It's like I'm spending time listening to anime openings anyway, so I might as well have relaxing music, which is, don't give that same stimulation, it's not as bad, and I can still consistently do what I need to. So this is what got me out of a rut, and why this is extremely important. Like, no addictions. I haven't for the past days. No fapping, no video game, no anime opening, no anime, no video game, no nothing at all. No drugs, no vices. The most viciest thing I've done is maybe relaxing music, but that is like piano, like we have done for thousands of years. Entertainment in Middle Ages and Viking Ages, drums, like that's thousands of years old now. So I don't, and it helps me unwind, and not the fake way, the real way. I believe it's good. Now that's the end of the video. At least I didn't rant on for 40 minutes, which is good. And so I managed to keep it short, size, and still educational. Good. That's the end of this video. I hope this helped you, and may you quit all your damn vices already. So I'm just mad because I've been a rut for months. All this advice, slowly weighing down, or go extreme, do nothing, no fapping ever again, or all of these never worked. This was the only thing that worked. Or it's fresh, like this is days ago when I quit all. And I know this because I did every other day, or every day I did this. Now I haven't done them for 2 to 3 days, so a new record, and haven't got the craving even once. So it haven't even been hard for me to quit this addiction. That's why I made this video. So good luck.